People love to overcomplicate weight loss. I did not spend months preparing for my weight loss journey. I did not make a list of 20 goals that I had. I did not plan my whole life or make sure that my whole life was in order before I got started. I just jumped in and started. And before you knew it, I was down 100 pounds in 10 months. And part of the reason I think I was so successful is that I kept things so simple. In this video, I'm gonna share the 4 ways that I think people are overcomplicating weight loss on a GLP-1. And stick around until the end because I'm gonna share the mindset shift that had to happen that helped me filter out all of the noise, take the advice that worked for me, and focus on what actually worked. If you're new here, hi, I'm Megan. I've lost 125 pounds using compounded Tirzepatide and a whole lot of hard work. I started in August 2023, weighing 243 pounds, and I've been maintaining my weight with a weekly shot right around 118 pounds for over a year now. The beauty of using a GLP-1 to lose weight is that we don't have to resort to all of the tips and tricks and mind games that we had to do when trying to lose weight in other ways. If you are anything like me, you have tried all the diets and done all the things. You've read all the books, you've been on all the cleanses. All of those things took so much work. But the beauty of being on a GLP-1 is that it works at the root cause of obesity and it works on our brains. When I took my first shot of compounded Tirzepatide, I woke up the next day a changed person. It completely changed my life. Took away the food noise that I did not even realize was there. I had no idea food noise was a thing until it was gone and my brain was quiet. I could think about other things. I could focus on other things. All of the advice I've ever heard or learned about weight loss, I could do the things. I didn't have to struggle and try to do the things and fail over and over again. It was like my brain was so quiet that I could just do the things that I knew all along that were going to make me a healthy and strong person. And it was easy and effortless to do that. Of course, a GLP-1 isn't going to work for everybody in the same way. So I always have people telling me, well, hey, a GLP-1 doesn't take away my appetite, or it doesn't make me satisfied ever, or it doesn't work like that for me. So I am just speaking from my own experience here, but I have talked to a lot of other people who are on GLP-1s, and I know that this is a pretty common experience. So if it is not that way for you, make sure to talk to your doctor and make sure you're on the right dose of the medication. This is a big part of why I continue to take a weekly dose of my GLP-1, even though I've been at a very healthy weight of 118 pounds for over a year. I feel better when I'm taking a weekly dose. It just allows me to live my life with so much freedom. And I think that that is a gift that I want us all to have. Whenever I have lost weight before, there have been so many mind games that I've had to play with myself to try to find success. And now with a GLP-1 on board, I don't have to do those things. I remember things like being in Weight Watchers and I would have to eat canned green beans because they were a 0-point food. And I was out of points for the day because I had gone to McDonald's. I would eat 4 or 5 cans of green beans. Looking back, this is not healthy behavior. This is not a lifestyle that is going to be successful long-term. The great thing about my life now on a GLP-1 is that anybody looking at it from the outside would just see a normal person. I like to reference eating like a normal person. Whenever I think like, what would a normal person do? Yeah, they would eat breakfast, lunch, and dinner. They're not thinking, oh, I have to fast breakfast. I can't eat breakfast because I'm trying to maintain my weight. No, normal people eat 3 meals a day. Normal people eat cake at birthday parties. Normal people go out to a restaurant and enjoy restaurant food every once in a while. This is pretty normal behavior and I really enjoy living this normal life, and it's all made possible because I have a GLP-1 working in my brain to give me this normal life. And just like the medication doesn't affect us all in the exact same way, I know some people will look at my story and say, oh, I wish I could lose 100 pounds in 10 months. So I lost about 10 pounds a month. And the truth is that the average weight loss on a GLP-1 is 0.5 pound to 2 pounds a week. If you are anywhere in that range, you are doing great. You are doing the thing and you're doing it all right. Especially if you're doing it in a way where you feel like you're living your life and it's a full, wonderful life. If you're not feeling like you're sacrificing everything and white knuckling it through every single day, just keep going and keep going with it. If you are lower than that 0.5 pound average week to week, and it's a consistent lower average, then I think that's probably a time that you need to be talking to your doctor, because maybe you're not on the right dose of the medication, or maybe you need a different medication. And unfortunately, there are just some people who this medication is not going to work for. For most of us, when we are on the right dose of the medication, we should feel that losing weight and living a healthy lifestyle is easier. So with that in mind, let's talk about the 4 biggest ways that I think people are overcomplicating their weight loss. Number 1 is metrics. Okay, when I first got started on this journey, I weighed myself the day before I took my shot. I was 243 pounds. I weighed myself on a regular old bathroom scale. I had nothing fancy. It was just a regular scale. It was not digital. It didn't connect to my phone. There was no Bluetooth. It didn't tell me anything about my muscle. It was just a scale. Another thing I did was I took a tape measure and I measured different parts of my body. I measured my arms, I measured my neck, I measured my thighs, my waist, my bust, and my calves. I didn't do any fancy measuring. I just took a flexible sewing tape measure and measured myself. Yes, there are fancy scales. Yep, you can get a scale that tells you all the data you ever wanted to know about yourself. You can compare all the different scales and see which one is more accurate. You can go get a DEXA scan and you can see what's happening inside your body. You can see your muscle, you can see your fat, you can see your visceral fat, you can see all of that. You could do the Me 360 app and you can see pictures of what your body looks like so that you can compare week to week. All of those things are great and there's nothing wrong with those things, but when I was over 100 pounds overweight, there was one thing I needed to do, and that was start losing weight. I did not need to be focused on specific things like visceral fat. I did not need to be focused on building muscle. I needed to lose weight. I had so much weight to lose and I was so far away from my end game that none of those other tools were going to be helping me on the journey. They were only going to be complicating things. They would be distracting me from the main goal. They would be giving me other things to think about. All I wanted to do was lose weight every single day. I weighed myself every single morning and I wanted to see my weight go down. That is not to say that every single day it went down. It definitely went down every single week. I used an app called Happy Scale and it gave me a moving average where I could see that the average weight was going down every single week, but weighing daily allowed me to make decisions that helped impact the next day or the following day's weight. So if I knew I had a day where I was up in weight, I would make sure to do all the right things. I would drink more water. I would make sure I had enough fiber. I might choose my carbs more wisely. I might skip the rice and just go with my protein and veggies. I could make decisions that were informed by the scale. If I had so much technology and more information, that's just more information that I have to filter through and figure out, what do I need to do with that information? I wanted that singular focus on weight because that was the major goal. Now, of course, weight isn't everything. And in the end, you do want to make sure that you end up with muscle and that you are living in a body that is taken care of and well-rounded. But I was so unhealthy and so far away from a healthy body that I think focusing on that one goal was the right thing to do. The second way that I think people overcomplicate things is by focusing on working out too soon. That is not to say that working out is not healthy or beneficial. I started working out right away, but I started building it into my life in a way that was really small and sustainable. I started by waking up in the morning and taking a walk around the block. That was a half-mile walk. It took me about 22 minutes to do it, and I just started doing that every morning. That was something that felt good to me and felt attainable and sustainable. It wasn't super challenging to do. I was out of breath and I'd be sweaty by the end of it. I was really obese at the time. My feet hurt, everything hurt, but I was able to do it, and it was something that I could commit to doing every single day. If I would have started on this journey and listened to all these people telling me, you have to start building muscle or you're gonna lose all your muscle, you have to go get your DEXA scan so that you can see how much muscle you're building. And if I would have started trying to lift weights right away in a body that was so fatigued and so unhealthy, I just don't think I could have done it. I would have been so discouraged because I was so out of shape. I was so far in the wrong direction. Unless you have been in a body like that, I don't think you understand how defeating that is to feel like I couldn't even walk up the stairs without taking a break or resting, and I would be out of breath by the time I got up one flight of stairs. So trying to do 3 45-minute weight workouts a week, that was way too much for me. There was just no way. So while I think the advice is well-intentioned, that yes, we should be building muscle, I think the focus in the very beginning should not be on building muscle. I think the focus should be on building small, attainable habits that you'll be able to sustain, not just through your weight loss, but throughout your entire life. I think we should focus on creating a lifestyle filled with movement in ways that we enjoy. So things like I started playing pickleball, I started doing Pilates. Those are the kinds of things that I really like doing, and I was able to start doing little by little once I started losing weight. Eventually, yes, I did add in strength training. I did build a lot of muscle, and I have a very athletic and muscular build now, but that wasn't until I had already lost my first 100 pounds and I was within a healthy weight for my height. I did not focus on building muscle until I had reached that healthy weight, because that wasn't my goal. My goal was to lose the weight. The third way that I think people are really overcomplicating things is by thinking about macros and their meals. I am somebody who has never tracked my food full time. I have never looked at what my macros should be. That is just not something that I'm interested in. Because I have the GLP-1 on board, it makes it really easy for me to eat foods that I enjoy and I know are healthy in a quantity that works for my body. I think before I had always heard of like intuitive eating and thought, well, that would never work for me because my brain doesn't tell me to stop eating foods. And the foods that I want to eat are foods like McDonald's French fries or chocolate shakes from Chick-fil-A. And those are not the kinds of things that I know are healthy for my body, but that's what my body wants. So if we're going with intuitive eating, that's what I'm gonna be giving my body. And now that I have a GLP-1 on board, I know how a normal brain is supposed to work. I crave foods that are going to fuel my body, foods that are going to make me feel my best. I still eat dessert every single day. I eat chocolate. I love having a little sweet treat every single day. I do still love French fries. They're just typically homemade now or at a restaurant and not fast food. But for the most part, I'm just eating at home and I'm eating meals that I enjoy and my family enjoys. I cook 99% of our meals right here at home. My husband works from home and we homeschool. I have 3 kids. And so we're eating all of our meals right here at home around the kitchen table. I cook those meals from scratch for the most part. I do sometimes get a few convenience foods in the freezer to keep on hand because my kids have sports and activities and we have busy days, and it is a lot better to eat something out of my freezer that I cook than going to pick up fast food. I have tracked my calories or protein and fiber on occasion because I do like having the information, but I would say more so that was, again, once I had lost the bulk of my weight, that first 100 pounds, and I wanted to fine tune what my body was doing. That's when I started focusing more on how much protein I was getting or how many calories I was eating. And it was more so because I was trying to build muscle and I wanted to make sure I was eating enough calories and protein to build muscle, not because I was trying to cut down my calories. When I started on this weight loss journey, I just knew I needed to be eating like a normal person again. So if I was just eating 3 regular sized meals a day with my family, I wasn't hiding in the pantry, putting food in my mouth between meals. I wasn't going and stopping by the drive-thru. All of those kinds of habits completely stopped once I was on a GLP-1. So I knew if I just ate 3 meals, I was gonna be just fine. And I just focused on that and it worked. And the fourth way that I think people overcomplicate things, and maybe it's just because I am pretty lazy, I think there are so many gadgets and supplements that people are taking and a lot of people are pushing that are really just unnecessary. Sure, take a multivitamin if you need to take a multivitamin, and maybe there are some supplements that you want to take to manage some side effects if you're experiencing those. For me, I don't take anything regularly. I don't take a multivitamin. I'm eating whole food foods mostly, and I'm getting a range of vitamins and nutrients. I make sure to get about 25 grams of fiber every day. So I'm eating fresh fruits and vegetables and really just a colorful plate any chance that I get. So I'm just not worried about it. And honestly, I'm just lazy. I can't remember to take a vitamin every day. I do use protein shakes, and I do a protein shake probably every day when I'm working out, because that's one way to just make sure that I'm getting enough protein to sustain my muscles and to build muscle. I use health code chocolate macadamia nut protein powder. It is my favorite. It's the only one I've ever tasted that actually tastes good. And I use that, and it does have a bunch of vitamins and good stuff in it. But other than that, you will not find me having any supplements. I don't eat protein bars. I don't do greens powder. You could not pay me to have any of that. I don't take daily fiber gummies, anything like that. I know I've heard people saying things like you have to take digestive enzymes to make sure that your digestion isn't affected. And there are all sorts of supplements that you can take. And if you need them, sure, talk to your doctor and take them. But I think that there are probably many, many people who don't need all of these things and would just be better off just focusing on eating good, healthy, real food and living their life. Now, let's talk about the mindset that we were talking about at the beginning of this video. I absolutely believe that one of the biggest reasons I was able to lose 100 pounds in 10 months was because I had that singular focus to lose weight. I didn't chase every distraction. I didn't go get a DEXA scan. I didn't start tracking every single thing that was going into my mouth. I didn't try to juggle fat loss and muscle gain and take all the supplements and have all these side goals. During the 10 months that I was losing 100 pounds, I was doing almost nothing else besides losing weight. I was taking care of my kids and homeschooling, but I had to pull back from so many things in my life because I had such intense focus. My self-care went from zero. Literally, I did not take care of myself. I didn't even get dressed every day. There were many days I did not even brush my teeth. Once I started on this weight loss journey, I was spending hours taking care of myself. That was hours walking. It was working out. It was meal planning and cooking my food and preparing freezer leftovers so that I would have quick meals in a pinch so that I didn't have to go get fast food. It was doing Pilates and stretching and yoga. It was making sure that I got 7 to 9 hours of sleep each night, which is something that I never did before. So going to bed early so I could wake up refreshed and ready for the day. It was shopping for myself and buying clothes that fit my body. All of those things took time and energy and were an investment in myself. And that took time and energy away from other things that I previously had been doing. I had to pull back from seeing friends as much. I had to pull back from things that I had volunteered to do in the past. I had to pull back from so many things because I wanted to focus on myself and give it my all. There are so many things that can distract us on this journey, and even things that we think are positives, things like fitness goals. If you want to be more fit and you're on this weight loss journey and you want to sign up for a 5K, that sounds great. But I think what we don't realize is that by having other goals, even as simple as something like a 5K, we are taking the energy away from our weight loss goal and investing it in this side goal, and trying to do those two things at the same time is going to be harder than doing one thing at a time. If you're training for some sort of fitness goal, you are going to need more calories. You need more energy for fuel. Eating more calories is the opposite of the process that you need to be doing for your weight loss goal. For a weight loss goal, you want to be eating less calories. That is not to say that it's impossible to have fitness goals or other goals or travel goals or whatever kind of goals you have. I am just saying, in my experience, focusing on the one goal was the way that I was able to get to that goal as quick as I could. And I was all about getting there as fast as I could, because every single pound that I lost, I felt so much better. I felt more like myself, and I was coming home to my own body, and I wanted to get to that healthy weight as fast as possible. So with no distractions, I kept my blinders on. I took care of myself for 5-6 hours a day, doing all the things that I could do to make myself healthier, stronger, fitter, more energetic. I did all the things, and I think it really paid off. So here is my encouragement to you. Just get started. Don't wait for the perfect time. Don't wait until you have all the tools. Don't wait till you have that full medicine cabinet with all the medicines you're going to need for potential side effects or supplements that you need to maintain your hair or your skin or whatever. Don't wait. Just get started and do it. And do it with a singular focus, just focusing on one thing at a time. There will be time to add other things later. There will be time to add more goals, and there will be time to do all the things you want to do. But if you are starting from a place like I was, if you're starting from a place where you are trying to change your life because it's a matter of life and death, because you were at such a low place in your life that you feel like there's no other thing you can do, that you cannot go on living the life that you've been living. If you're feeling like that, like I was, this is my encouragement to just start, because life looks so different today than it looked for me in 2023. And I cannot tell you what an amazing life it is. And it has zero to do with the body that I'm in. And it has everything to do with the life that I'm able to live, with a life that I'm able to share with my family now, my relationship with my husband, with my children, with friends, with my neighbors. All of those things are so much better. And it's because I took the time to focus on myself and lose the weight that I needed to lose so that I could start being myself and to start being the very best self that I knew I had inside the whole time. I just had to get the outside to match the inside. So start small. Find small things that you can do daily to move you one step closer to your goals. Maybe you need to go for a walk every day. Maybe you can start by eating breakfast every day. You can make sure that you're getting in the protein that you need. Whatever it is, start with something small, attainable, sustainable. Don't try to do all the things. Try to do one thing and do it well. The goal is not to be perfect, but to be consistent, to do those small things daily. And before you know it, you will be where you want to be. Sometimes when you're standing at the beginning of the journey, it seems like you might have an impossible goal. Take it one step at a time, have your blinders on, stay focused, stay consistent, let the momentum carry you forward, and you will get there. Thank you so much for watching today. If you would take a minute to like this video, subscribe to my channel, and leave me a comment and let me know about your singular focus or what distractions you've encountered on your journey. Are there any distractions that you are willing to let go of so that you can have a more singular focus? Let me know, and I am so excited to connect with you and cheer you on your journey. Thanks for watching.